the next 20 pages of The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. In today's segment, truth be told, I think it super well resonates with me because I've been suffering with this issue ever since I was a young lad, and I still kind of suffer with this issue. But we'll touch up upon that when we get to that point. But first point being is, words are just words. Words are simply just a means to an end. We're pretty much just using words to communicate to each other what we have in mind or whatever it is. So, for example, let's use the word honey. I guarantee you, right when I said honey, you probably immediately pictured honey. Like actually honey, what bees make, right? So, the reason why I bring this up is because we create these mental images in our minds because of these words. But honestly, what these words should be are just empty words. There should be no meaning or any significance behind them because they're simply just words. They're just a means to an end. But because of how we live, because of how we communicate with each other, we always tie it into either, past tense, present tense, or future. And we're getting taken away from the now because we're using these words. But if you pretty much just use words as a means to an end without actually kind of putting any significance towards it, and you just simply use it as a form of communication, you're living in the now. But if you start using it in certain terminology to start creating mental images and whatnot, you're taking away that person from being in the now because they're starting to develop mental images. So honestly, words, the reason why I put up this point is because words are simply just words, man. They should be just words that convey communication. That's it. There shouldn't be really too much meaning behind it. So whenever people say things to you, don't get too hung up on it. It's just words. They are pretty much useless. They pretty much just try to get your emotions to spark so you get into the zone where you're not being in the moment. It takes you away from the moment of now. Now, going to the second point. This is the point that really resonates with me very well because I've suffered through this problem for years, and I still do. But because of this book, I've distanced myself from that, and I've slowly kind of gotten better. But the second point being is compulsive thinking. I honestly fucking hate compulsive thinking. Because of compulsive thinking, I get stuck in a zone where I'm trapped in my head and I keep thinking to myself and I start overlooking things. I keep overanalyzing things. I get to this point where I'm so stuck in my fucking head that I cannot pay attention to what's going on in front of me. Like, for example, I used to be a huge introvert, and to the point where whenever I go to social parties, I was the one that's hanging up against the wall, thinking I'm the cool kid, but in reality, I'm the one that's fucking tweaking in my mind because I can't socialize with people. I don't know how to socialize. And that's the problem that I had, is the fact that I got so stuck in my head, I kept analyzing everything to this point where I literally couldn't react. I couldn't act, I should say. I couldn't do anything. And that's why I think compulsive thinking is a huge problem in today's society, especially with social media and whatnot. We kind of get so intrigued with ourselves that we don't know how to let ourselves be loose. And we start getting stuck in our heads and we start trying to comfort ourselves in our heads. But reality, we are being taken away from the moment of now and not enjoying our lives. That is why I started meditating. I started, looking into spirituality and whatnot. And I started removing myself from compulsive thinking and started getting into the moment of now, which actually kind of want to talk about a little quick story. So a few years ago, I was dating this one girl and we broke up, and I was stuck in my head after that because I thought I had everything, and then once I realized I'm pretty much nothing without this girl, I was so stuck in my head and I couldn't do anything. I didn't know how to I didn't even know how to approach anybody. I didn't know how to talk to anybody. And that was devastating for me. So, actually, I picked up this book, The Power of Now. I shit you not. I legitimately read this book. This was whenever I read this book. And it literally uplifted me and started making me realize how to live in the now and how to accept things for how they are and just enjoy life. So, going back to the story, I was invited over to my friend's house, and I went over there, and it was just a get-together with our friends. We were just drinking, having a good time. I actually wasn't drinking, but everyone else was. And what happened was, my friend decided to pull out a karaoke machine and was like, so who's going to do karaoke? Everyone was in fear. Everyone did not want to do it. Everyone was tweaking because no one likes being put on the spotlight. No one does. But because of this book and because of the things I've learned to pretty much just live in the moment and enjoy it for what it is, whenever my friend Noel, he mentioned like, hey, who wants to sing first? I embarrassingly, but not embarrassingly, rose my hand and said, I'll fucking do it. And the crazy thing is, once I did this, I was terrified. Like, my heart was beating so fast. I was literally thinking in my head, like, nonstop, like, what is everyone going to think about me? How this is going to be super embarrassing because I suck at singing. And this is just going to be shit. And this is going to be embarrassing. Everyone's going to be laughing at me. But the sole reason why I did this was because if no one takes action, nothing's going to happen. So I knew that I had to take action and I had to take reins here. So I did it. I went up there and I started singing my heart out and I was terrible. However, because of how I acted, I literally fueled the party because everyone was so engaged with my presence. Everyone knew that I was having a good time because I was just doing it just to enjoy the moment, you know? I didn't care about I wasn't in my head. I wasn't thinking about like what people are going to think about me, how they're going to react afterwards, how embarrassing this is. I didn't think any of that when I was up there. I was just singing my heart out to the dumbest songs, and I had a good time. And in fact, after this event, I'm told like all the time because of that one night, every time my friends mentioned like, hey, we should get together and have a karaoke night again because you were literally the life of the party. And that is exactly what has taught me to stop being in my head and to stop compulsively thinking. Just get the fuck out of your head, do what you gotta do, and have fun doing it, and look at it like it is how it is, man. It is what it is. Don't judge it, don't analyze it, don't do anything, just do it and have fun. And I did. And ever since then, I don't regret it because it was such a good time. It put me out of my comfort zone. And ever since then, I don't really get too stuck in my head now. Now I kind of just like have the mentality of like, oh, fuck it, I don't care. To me, it's seriously a form of medication to get out of being an introvert. So if you're an introvert and you have anxiety issues, just stop giving a fuck. Do what you gotta do. Stop thinking. And I promise you, it's not as bad as it seems. Stop letting fear run your life. Just have a good time. Let things happen. Things are how they are. Don't analyze. Just have a good time. Now going to the third point, we have inner body. Inner body is a very interesting point because Eckhart Tolle mentions how we as a human race started pretty much separating ourselves from our bodies. Because of our heads, we're always stuck in our heads, so we're kind of like using this as a separate identity as opposed to our bodies. We start kind of looking at our bodies as a different entity. We don't look at ourselves as one whole. And that's exactly what Eckhart Tolle is pretty much mentioning in the inner body. He's pretty much telling us like to get, once again, realigned with ourselves and start accepting ourselves, accepting our bodies, and start feeling our bodies instead of disregarding it. A great exercise for this is, for example, meditation. I learned this when I was meditating. It's a very good example, a very good exercise is whenever you're trying to meditate. If you do, if not, I don't know, give this a try. But whether you do or don't, give this a try regardless. Simply just sit there in peace, just relax, try not to think. But whenever you're just sitting there and just mellow it out, think about like a bar that goes through your whole body, from like a horizontal bar starting from the top of your body going all the way down. Just picture that feeling of simply feeling from top to all the way down to your legs. Just imagine feeling from the top of your body all the way down. Don't even think about it, just feel it. It's so weird, but you will actually feel that weird bar, that horizontal bar going through your body, and you're just feeling it. You're not analyzing it, you're not thinking about it, you're just letting it do its thing because you're just feeling it. And this is an excellent, excellent exercise to get you to feel your inner body because you are literally feeling your surroundings of your own body. So going off of that, You really, whenever you're doing any kind of inner body exercise, you want to pretty much observe your body. You don't want to analyze. You don't want to do anything. You just want to observe your body. So even whenever you react in an emotional state, just observe how your body reacts. Don't think about it. Just observe, let it happen, and see how you react. Eventually, you're going to get to this point where it's like you can control how your emotions are behaving because you kind of already observed how everything happens, and you eventually just kind of let yourself loose. Which goes on to kind of like a sub-point. Forgive yourself. Forgive yourself in the sense of allow yourself to have no resistance. Your body's always going to be resisting, and because you don't forgive yourself for having these certain barriers against your body or whatever it is, and because of those barriers, you're having resistance, which is pretty much putting you out of the state of now. You want to be in the now by living in the moment, by not having any forms of resistance. So forgive yourself. Whatever you have in your life, just forgive yourself, man. Life's tough. It really is. Life situations are tough. But let it be how it is. Just let yourself be loose and enjoy your life for what it is. Start forgiving yourself for everything that's been going wrong in your life or whatever it is. We're all human, guys. We're not superhumans. We're not even superheroes for that matter. Just enjoy your life as is and take care. That's it. On that bombshell, follow us on Facebook. Follow us on Instagram. Follow us on Twitter. And please, guys, subscribe on YouTube.